Have you ever noticed how life feels different after 60? It's as if the clock starts ticking in a softer rhythm, reminding us not of what we've lost, but of what we still have the power to create. Aging doesn't have to be about decline. It can be about discovery. It can be about joy. It can be about peace. Today, let's talk about how mindful aging can help you find peace, joy, and balance in this beautiful stage of life. Before we begin, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any video. Number 1, slow down and embrace the present. Have you ever caught yourself rushing through the day only to realize you barely remember what happened? Maybe you had breakfast, but you can't recall the taste of your food. Maybe you took a walk, but your mind was miles away, replaying worries from yesterday or stressing about tomorrow. This is something many of us face, especially after decades of living in a fast-paced world. But here's the truth: once we slow down, life reveals its beauty in the most ordinary moments. Slowing down and embracing the present isn't about doing less. It's about living more. It's about choosing to notice the details that we often overlook: the warmth of sunlight on your face, the way laughter sounds when you're with loved ones, or even the rhythm of your own breathing. These small things don't just fill the day, they give it meaning. When we allow ourselves to be fully present, we stop existing on autopilot and begin to truly live. I once spoke with a man in his late 60s who shared a powerful story. He said that for most of his life, he was always on the go. Meetings, projects, errands, his days blurred together. But after retirement, he found himself restless and uneasy. One morning, instead of diving into his usual to-do list, he made himself a cup of tea and sat quietly by the window. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like he wasn't doing enough. But then, he noticed the sound of birds outside. He noticed how the steam curled up from his cup, how the sunlight painted golden streaks across his living room. Single moment shifted something inside him. He said, "I realized I'd been chasing so much, but the joy I was looking for was right there in front of me all along." Isn't it interesting how easily we miss the very moments that bring us peace? We're often so busy trying to get somewhere that we forget the journey itself is where life happens. By slowing down, we discover that happiness doesn't live in the next achievement or the next milestone. It lives in this breath, this step, this moment. So how can you bring this into your own life? Start with something simple. Practice mindful breathing. Take 2 minutes every morning to close your eyes, inhale deeply, and notice the rise and fall of your chest. It sounds small, but it anchors you in the present and clears your mind of noise. Another step is to practice single tasking. Instead of eating while watching TV or scrolling on your phone, just eat. Notice the flavors, the textures, the smell. You'll be surprised at how much more satisfying the experience becomes. And finally, try what I call pause moments. Before moving on to your next task, stop for a few seconds. Look around. Notice one thing you appreciate: a photo on your wall, the sound of wind outside, even the comfort of your chair. Those pause moments train your brain to recognize beauty in the ordinary. You might be wondering, but won't slowing down make me less productive? The answer is the opposite. When you live mindfully, your energy becomes more focused. Instead of scattering your attention across worries and distractions, you pour it into the present task, the present conversation, the present joy. Not wasting time, you're reclaiming it. Life after 60 is a chance to shift gears. You no longer have to live in a constant rush. You can savor, you can notice, you can breathe. And here's the secret: once you start embracing the present, your days feel fuller, richer, and more meaningful. Not because you're doing more, because you're truly experiencing what you do. So I invite you to ask yourself, when was the last time you truly paused, noticed, appreciated the moment you were in? If the answer feels distant, then maybe it's time to begin again today. Slow down, breathe deeply, let the present moment wrap around you. Because peace isn't waiting in some distant future. It's right here, right now, ready for you to embrace. Number 2, release what no longer serves you. Have you ever carried a heavy bag for so long that you didn't realize how much it was slowing you down? Until the moment you finally set it down. The relief is instant, the freedom undeniable. Life is a lot like that. As we move through the years, we tend to hold on to burdens that no longer serve us. Old regrets, grudges, unnecessary worries, or even habits that drain our energy. The problem is, when we keep carrying them, they take up valuable space in our hearts and minds, leaving little room for peace, joy, or growth. Releasing what no longer serves you doesn't mean forgetting the past or pretending challenges never happened. It means acknowledging them, learning from them, and then choosing not to let them define your present. Think of it as spring cleaning for the soul, just like you'd clear out a cluttered closet to make space for things that bring comfort and value. You can clear away emotional and mental clutter to make space for balance and happiness. I remember speaking with a woman in her early 70s who shared a simple but powerful story. She had a falling out with her sister years ago, and the bitterness stayed with her long after the arguments ended. Every time her sister's name came up, her heart tightened and old anger resurfaced. Then one day, she realized that holding on to that resentment was hurting her far more than it hurt anyone else. She decided to let go. Not by excusing the past, but by forgiving herself for carrying it so long. She said, "It felt like opening a window in a stuffy room. The air was suddenly fresh again." That moment of release gave her peace she hadn't felt in years. So, how can you begin to let go of the things weighing you down? Start with awareness. Take a quiet moment and ask yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer brings me value? Is it a regret about something I didn't do? A grudge against someone who may not even think about me anymore? Is it a habit, like overthinking or negative self-talk, that leaves me drained? Naming it is the first step toward releasing it. Next, practice reframing. Instead of focusing on what went wrong or what was lost, shift your perspective to what you learned from the experience. For example, if you regret a missed opportunity, remind yourself that the wisdom you gained can guide your choices today. If you're holding on to hurt from someone else, recognize that their actions were a reflection of them, not of your worth. Reframing turns pain into a stepping stone, rather than a permanent weight. Finally, create small rituals of release. Some people write down a worry or regret on paper, then tear it up or throw it away, symbolizing letting go. Others prefer to talk it out with a trusted friend, releasing the words that have stayed locked inside. Even something as simple as taking a deep breath, exhaling slowly, saying, "This no longer belongs to me," can be a powerful act of freedom. Letting go isn't always easy. In fact, sometimes it feels safer to hold on to what's familiar, even if it hurts. But ask yourself this: what joy, what peace, what opportunities might you be missing because your hands are too full of old baggage? When you free yourself from what no longer serves you, create space for what does: laughter, love, purpose, and new beginnings. Imagine how much lighter your days could feel if you didn't carry the same heavy thoughts everywhere you go. Imagine waking up with a mind clear enough to notice the beauty of your morning instead of replaying yesterday's worries. That's the gift of release. It doesn't erase your past, but it empowers your present. So today, I invite you to set something down. Release one regret, one worry, or one grudge. Even the smallest act of letting go can open a door to freedom. Because the truth is, you don't need to carry everything with you. Peace begins when you choose to travel light. Number 3, nurture your body and mind with care. Have you ever noticed how much easier life feels when your body has energy and your mind feels clear? Suddenly, even the little things, sharing a laugh, taking a walk, trying something new, become more enjoyable. After 60, nurturing your body and mind with care isn't just about health. It's about creating the foundation for joy, peace, and independence in this stage of life. So many of us spent decades putting others first, raising children, building careers, caring for families. Often our own well-being was pushed to the background. Now, this is your time to listen to what your body and mind truly need. Think of yourself as a garden. If you water the plants, give them sunlight, pull out the weeds, they flourish. But if you neglect them, they slowly fade. Your body and mind are no different. They need regular nourishment and attention to keep thriving. I once met a man in his late 60s who shared how a simple change transformed his life. For years, he struggled with low energy and constant aches. Instead of resigning himself to getting old, he decided to start small, just 10 minutes of stretching every morning. Over time, he added short walks, light strength exercises. Within months, he said, "I feel like I've added years back to my life." His energy returned, his sleep improved, and most importantly, he felt proud of himself for taking charge of his well-being. It wasn't about perfection, it was about progress. The same goes for the mind. Our thoughts shape our reality. A restless, cluttered mind makes life feel heavy, while a calm, focused mind opens the door to clarity and joy. I knew a woman in her early 70s who started keeping a gratitude journal. At first, she struggled to write more than 1 or 2 things each day. But soon, her perspective shifted. She began noticing small blessings, like the kindness of a neighbor or the beauty of a sunset. Within weeks, she said her mood had lifted. She felt lighter, more optimistic. By nurturing her mind with gratitude, she created space for more happiness in her life. So how can you begin nurturing your body and mind right now? Start with movement. You don't need to join a gym or push yourself to extremes. Gentle walks, stretching, or even dancing in your living room can awaken your body and keep it flexible. Movement is medicine. It boosts energy, lifts your mood, strengthens your independence. Next, feed your body with care. That doesn't mean rigid diets or harsh restrictions. It means choosing foods that make you feel nourished and energized. Fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and enough water to stay hydrated. Think of food as fuel. When you give your body the right kind, you give yourself the energy to enjoy life more fully. And finally, tend to your mind with mindfulness. Even 5 minutes a day of deep breathing, meditation, or simply sitting quietly without distractions can bring clarity and calm. Replace endless worrying with intentional pauses. Ask yourself what thought patterns are lifting me up and which ones are pulling me down. By being gentle with your mind, you create balance in your emotions and strength in your outlook. You might be wondering, is it too late to start? Absolutely not. The beauty of nurturing your body and mind is that every step, no matter how small, creates positive change. It's never about doing everything perfectly. It's about consistently choosing actions that help you feel alive, strong, and at peace. So imagine what your life could feel like if you gave yourself the gift of care. Imagine waking up with more energy, moving through your day with ease, and ending it with a calm mind and a grateful heart. That's the reward of nurturing your body and mind. It's not just about adding years to your life. Adding life to your years. Take one step today. Walk a little, breathe a little, smile a little more. Because when you care for yourself, you're not just surviving. Number 4, cultivate connections and share joy. Have you ever noticed how a simple conversation, a shared laugh, even a warm smile can instantly change the way you feel? That's the power of connection. After 60, when routines slow down and family members may be busy with their own lives, it's easy to drift into isolation. But the truth is, human connection is as essential as food and water. It nourishes the spirit, lifts the heart, and adds meaning to every single day. We sometimes underestimate the joy of togetherness. A phone call from an old friend, a grandchild's giggle, or a chat with a neighbor can brighten an entire week. Connections don't have to be grand or complicated. They just need to be genuine. Because at the end of the day, what we remember most are not the things we owned, but the people we laughed with, supported, and loved. I once met a retired teacher in her late 60s who admitted she had fallen into a quiet, lonely routine after leaving her career. She missed the daily energy of her students and colleagues. Then, one day, she joined a local book club. At first, she was hesitant. She worried she wouldn't fit in. But soon, those weekly gatherings became the highlight of her week. She found new friends, rediscovered her passion for learning, and felt alive again. She told me, it wasn't just about the books. It was about being seen, heard, and connected. Her story is a reminder that joy often grows in the spaces we share with others. So how can you begin cultivating connections and sharing joy in your own life? First, take the initiative. Don't wait for others to call or visit. Reach out yourself. A short message, a phone call, or an invitation to share a meal can open the door to deeper connection. Sometimes, the courage to make the first move is all it takes. Explore new communities. Join a class, volunteer, or participate in local groups where people share similar interests. Whether it's gardening, music, walking groups, or art classes, these communities offer more than just activities. They offer belonging. And belonging is one of the greatest sources of joy. Third, don't overlook small, everyday gestures. A smile to a passerby, a kind word to a shopkeeper, or a simple, "How are you?" to a neighbor can spark unexpected warmth. These moments may feel small, but they create ripples of connection that can brighten both your day and someone else's. You might ask yourself, what's holding me back from reaching out more often? Is it fear of rejection? Is it the belief that everyone is too busy? The truth is, most people long for connection just as much as you do. Sometimes, all it takes is your willingness to extend a hand to remind someone they're not alone. Connection also means giving as much as receiving. Sharing joy doesn't just happen when others lift us up. It happens when we give freely. Share a story, lend a listening ear, cook a meal for a friend, or simply show up for someone who needs company. When you give joy, it multiplies, and often, it circles back to you in ways you least expect. So, imagine your life surrounded by meaningful conversations, shared laughter, and the comfort of knowing you belong. Imagine feeling energized not just by your own goals, but by the connections you nurture with others. That is the beauty of cultivating connections and sharing joy. It transforms ordinary days into extraordinary ones. The message is simple. You don't have to walk this stage of life alone. Connection is within your reach, joy is meant to be shared, and every bond you build adds richness to your journey. Open your heart, extend your hand, and watch how life becomes brighter when you live it together. So, mindful aging after 60 is not about resisting change, it's about embracing it. It's about slowing down to savor the moment, releasing what no longer serves you. Caring for your body and mind, cultivating connections that bring joy. This stage of life is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a chapter filled with peace, balance, and meaning. Every day is an opportunity to live fully, breathe deeply, and celebrate the beauty of now. God bless you.